and welcome to the Fortress of Comic News, episode 162. I am one of your hosts, Chris. Alongside, he's still stuck in his house, Mike.
Yeah, and I'm a millennial, so I'm not even in a house. I rent, so yeah, I'm in an apartment. But anyways, welcome everyone. And I just want to, before we get the show started, Chris, I just want to talk about something quick. It's a Kickstarter that's going on, right? This is the last time we get to talk about this, so you wanna fill us in on what's going on there?
Yeah, so my Kickstarter for Battle Monsters is on its final leg. So this Friday, it'll be finalized. We're sitting at, let's refresh, so we're up to date. Yep, hasn't changed. $913, and that is 60% funded.
Okay.
So we need another $587 to fund. Still very much possible.
Oh yeah.
And like I've told the backers, it's kind of cool now that I've done a Kickstarter because I could talk a little bit more about what goes behind the Kickstarter.
Mhm.
They give you everything in the back end. So like I know how many people are following it to be like waiting for a last minute pledge. I know how many people have watched that video. I know everything.
Really?
How many people have clicked on it to check it out. I know if you adjusted your pledge. I know when you make a comment or if you follow me, or it's kind of incredible knowing how little information people give you in things after doing this podcast and having a website and all this, and what Kickstarter gives to you. And it's kind of amazing to watch. But yeah, so check it out. Just search for Battle Monsters on Kickstarter and you'll find it. Or there'll be a link in the show notes. Or you can always go to my website, chrisrunt.com, CHRISRUNDT.com. And there's a link there as well.
Let's get it funded, people. Help out. Click that donate or whatever pledge button. Get those pledges in. I want my CGC copy, all right? My speculator. I haven't speculated in a while. I'm coming back out of retirement of the speculation. One last ride. And I'm speculating this is going to be worth big bucks.
One last hurrah.
Anyways, let's I guess we'll just jump into the news, huh? TV news. Yeah. We finally hear the release of HBO Max is officially launching May 27th. And we talked about it's going to be HBO Go mixed with DC TV, right? Are they still confirming that, or
it's basically Warner Brothers Plus?
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, it's I still didn't. I've been meaning to look it up, but I want to know if it's going to have all the back stuff that DC Universe has.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume as much because it's going to have all the new material that DC Universe has.
Right.
In which case, canceling my DC Universe.
Yep.
But they showed a trailer for like the new Looney Tunes. Did you watch that?
No, I haven't. No.
I don't know if I like it or not. Like, I really am leaning towards it looks awful, but I just want Looney Tunes to be good again.
Yeah, I don't think it's fit for this generation. Or what the way they can go about it, I don't think it'll ever be as good as it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just really hope they have all the old Looney Tunes on it because I will watch those.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Those are some classics. We got some movie news, but for TV, I'm actually catching up on the Clone Wars series. I got my Disney Plus subscription. I've been binging through that, and I'm on episode like 20. Some of the episodes, I've been like watching it at night when I play my Animal Crossing on the couch, and I'm like, I gotta put the Switch down for a second for some of those lightsaber battles, man. Like Ashoka and is it Anakin when I can't remember there's the henchman of Count Dooku, she looks like Nebula, but two lightsabers.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember her name, but there's like a lightsaber battle between her and two of the Jedis, and like you just get to see all these different Jedi and like these fight. It was like super epic. I'm like, this is awesome. The music too, like I mean, it's renditions of classic Star Wars tunes, but some of the it's like really epically done, and it's not for kids. I mean, I was telling my friends to like, yeah, I'm starting to watch it. If you like Star Wars, you should check it out. There's the scene where like the clones, obviously, it's Clone Wars, so there's clones, but like there's like a almost like an underlying tone of like they don't feel like their lives are really worth anything. You know what I mean? And it's like subtle at some points with the comments they say. And then we have the episode where like one of the guys sacrifices himself, like blows himself up with like one of the with the Imperial bases to like save his friends. I'm like, holy, this guy just blew himself up. Like, what the hell is going on?
It's a World War II show. It really is.
Yeah, it is. It's like MASH. It's, Star Wars
with lightsabers.
Yeah, with lightsabers. No, but it really is. I mean, and it shows like the different societies and how they're reacting to the war. Yeah, it's just great. I'm liking it, and yeah. So I can't wait to catch up to the later seasons. I'm sure the quality just gets better and better with each season.
Yeah, speaking of which, I just watched the recent episode. I think it's the second to last episode we're getting.
Mm-hmm.
It's really great. It's the big like fight between Ahsoka and Darth Maul.
Oh,
and first of all, there's this amazing moment in it where it's that like join me and we can take over the universe moment, where Maul's trying to recruit Ahsoka, and in the background is just the fight of Mandalore happening, and it's just such an epic moment. And then it turns into like a huge brawl between the two of them, and they end up catching Maul.
Ooh.
But you get the mention of Darth Sidious in it, and what's going on there, and how Maul was actually trying to get Anakin to come to Mandalore because he wanted to kill Anakin because he knew he had a vision that Anakin was going to be the new apprentice for Sidious. So like that's out there now. There's great moments that tie into episode 3 that just made it really good, and I'm interested to see where they take it from here. The final season has been fantastic.
Do you think there's some potential for Darth Maul to show up in the Mandalorian show?
I think so. I think my theory there is, now you saw Solo, right?
Yep.
And spoiler alert, everybody, Maul shows up in that, and there was definitely they had plans for a trilogy for Maul to be the big bad. And I think that Mandalorian's going to pick up on some of those and finish that story, or at least put a pin on it.
Yeah, I think especially bringing Ahsoka into the TV show, they have to, right?
Yeah.
It only makes sense. I think it's awesome. I mean, and Ahsoka's a really cool character too. So.
Yeah, and the way she grows throughout that show, and then into Rebels, if you decide to go that route, she's just a really great character that doesn't go the route everybody expects her to go when it's all said and done.
Where does Rebels take place? After Clone Wars?
After Clone Wars, basically during Rogue One.
Oh, okay.
So they're still kind of getting the Rebel Alliance together, still kind of ragtag, and this is just one ship. Eagle-eyed fans would notice that the ship from Rebels shows up in both Rogue One and Rise of the Skywalker as well.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Oh, yeah, the big ship battle. Yeah, I heard people talked about that Easter egg. Cool. Yeah, so you watch anything else for shows, or...
Not really. I finished Community. Last couple seasons were kind of meh.
Yeah, they weren't as good as like the original stuff, but
I think all in all, it's a good show that if it would have hit me when it was coming out, I would have loved a lot more than I do, because I thought it was a good show.
Yep.
And yeah, it's it's all about timing with that one. Like that came out. That was what, like 2009 was when it was in its big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in college.
So it probably would have hit bigger with me back then because of the lack of that kind of stuff. But,
right. Now you see that type of like everywhere.
Yeah, but it's kind of cool to see because I mentioned when I first watched it, like Dan Harmon's a part of it. The Russo brothers are a part of it. So like people I are in my zeitgeist these days. Big names were like a part of the show, so it's kind of cool to see that.
Speaking of Russo brothers, that movie dropped. I have not watched it yet.
I haven't had a chance either.
Extraction, right? The Extraction.
Yeah,
I've heard the fight scenes are phenomenal, and it's all action. So that's all I've heard about it. The fight scenes are crazy, so I might actually watch that tonight. Yeah. So movies. Venom 2 is now named Venom: Let There Be Carnage. In case you didn't know there was going to be carnage in this movie, they should call it Venom. Hey, we got carnage for this one. Venom. Insert which property that we could get a hold of from Marvel and ruin Venom 2. Anyways, yeah, it's being released June 25th, 2021, so a little bit of delay there.
yeah.
I mean,
I'll be interested.
Yeah, I thought the first one was fine. I mean, Tom Hardy with the Brooklyn accent, but other than that, it was cool. I like the banter between Venom and Eddie Brock.
Yeah,
like the conversation between them is good.
And I just want to see how terrible wig job Woody Harrelson ends up as Carnage.
Yeah, you know Woody Harrelson's going to be great, right? He's pretty much great in almost every movie. Yeah. But like, you're not gonna be able to take him seriously if they fuck up his hair.
If he still has that
dude,
that
like,
wig.
Oh god, Arrow was so bad. Like the scenes where they did the flashbacks in Arrow, where they like, I remember the scene. It was like the newest season where they like changed the wig finally, but that wig looked so bad. It just looked like a mop on his head. It didn't look right at all. I was like, dude, if he grew his hair out, it would not look like that at all. Anyways, we got some more Marvel stuff. They're moving some movies around. Into the Spider-Verse 2 is releasing April 2022. So quite 2 years out, pretty much. Spider-Man 3 releasing November 5th, 2021. Doctor Strange 2 releasing March 25th, 2022. Thor Love and Thunder has been pushed to an undisclosed date. Man, these are pretty far out, and it's like, you know, we got a lot of catching up to do in between these timelines here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all. If you look back, November 5th is the original Thor Love and Thunder date.
Yeah.
So it's all just like because Black Widow didn't come out or isn't coming out next week.
Right.
Or whenever. It was the next week or the following, whatever. But because that's not coming out, well, now that takes someone else's date and then it pushes and pushes and pushes. So thanks, Corona.
Yeah. And it's funny that Marvel's having this issue where like, oh, wait, we got to move this movie for another movie because our biggest competitor is ourselves. You know what I mean? Oh, geez, we got to move out this $1 billion movie to make another $1 billion the next month, and I guess we'll make $1 billion the month after. Oh, geez.
and this being a comic book fan and somebody who doesn't care about anything else other than Star Wars that Disney does, there's like other movies in there that got pushed along the calendar. And to me, it's just like, you know, unnamed or unannounced Disney project. I'm just like, I don't care about another one of your live action remakes, Disney. Just give me more punchy Thunder Gods.
Yeah, Thunder Gods, punchy, laser swords. Yeah, that's all we really need, honestly. I guess we'll just jump into the comic book news. As part of AWA's partnership with Webtoons, they announced that the comic ETER, we talked about a few episodes ago, is releasing on the platform for free. So free comics on Webtoons. 2 chapters are already released, with more coming every week. So if you're looking for something to read.
Yeah, ETER was a book I was interested in too. And it's ER in space. I mean, what's not to like?
Yeah.
So I downloaded it on Webtoons. I did not get to read it this week, but I will read it soon. And it's kind of cool. I mean, we need more new comics right now.
For sure. Speaking of that, DC has expanded its digital program with DC Daily. It'll launch with a different issue daily for 99 cents. And these are going to start with the stories previously released in the 100-page Walmart editions, which is fine. It might look like a cash grab. It probably is, but I didn't set foot in Walmart to get those issues, so I actually started this week off reading a couple of them, and I really enjoyed it. So,
me too. I had no interest in getting those $5 Giants. I would have gotten the single issues if they ever collected them, like they did with Bendis's Batman and Tom King's Superman.
Right.
But I got nothing to read right now, really, except for the mini or the little series I'm picking up here and there. And I was glad to have something new, especially from DC. So it's cool.
Tom King and Jorge Fornes are teasing a new maxi series that is said to be insanely ambitious. Okay. No details of what it is or where it will be published, but it's safe to assume it's a DC book. I mean, yeah, Tom King, I don't think he's leaving DC anytime soon. I don't know.
Only other thing it could be is like an Image book, but it's Jorge Fornes, if I'm correct, has an exclusive with DC.
Yeah.
And the name Maxi series is really like big at DC.
Right.
That's what really pointed towards it for me. It'd be interesting to see what it is, though. Which
is weird because they spent all this effort and time, like, really pushing the Adam Strange book with the solid first issue, and that was like Tom King's like, this is the book, and now it's like, just kidding, this next one this next one's the book. So I don't really know what's going to happen with that book. I mean, we don't know, right? We'll have to wait and see, but I mean, that was just starting off. So
yeah, with this month off of comics, it's kind of hard. It came out with a bang and now has zero momentum.
Yeah, right. Donny Cates, Jeff Shaw have shown some new images of their yet to be announced Image Comics title. The images are found on Donny Cates' Twitter with the hashtag #GodHatesCapes. So is it safe to assume we're gonna get the sequel to God Country? Yes.
I still haven't read God Country, so I don't know.
Okay.
The way it was explained, though, is it has the scope of a event book, and there's some of the images was like a guy holding a sign that says "Pray the Cape away."
Oh wow.
And things like that. So I get the feeling that it's going to be not Jupiter's Legacy, but what's the book I'm looking for?
Jupiter Circle.
It's no, it's going to be a superhero book where it's like people turned on the soups. Maybe like The Boys without the violence.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's my feeling, is that's going to be like something happened, like a la Civil War when Speedball blew up everything.
Yeah.
And now it's people are turning against them. That's the feeling I get from the images.
Either way, we're reading it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He's got her money. It's fine. So check out his Twitter if you want to see some of that. After DC's announcement of shipping new comics starting this week, Diamond has come out with another statement. Surprise. In the statement, Diamond tells the retailers that all orders for DC are in their system and will be shipped out when shipping resumes. So, no confusion there, huh? At all? I don't know.
How long does this stay? That's my question. Because let's say DC does do this like on a permanent basis and decides to make this a thing.
Mm-hmm.
That just kind of screws over Diamond in many ways. And now they're stuck with all these books. But to do this, I think you just push people even more towards DC and their new distribution. Because when you're the only guy in town, it's easy for you to do whatever you want. But now somebody else is coming out with a distribution company, and it's like you kind of got to play ball with the retailers because they could just say, well, I'll just get my DC books over here then.
Right, because DC is a big chunk of the market. So
yeah, almost a third. So
and that's not just comics. That's like statues and stuff too. I mean, this is Diamond distributes almost all their stuff. So
yeah.
But yeah, I guess we'll see what unfolds in the next couple weeks. A lot of people aren't even announcing things till next week because everything's supposed to unfold in May, like May 5th or something is the date, at least for Massachusetts. So let's jump into what we're reading. I'm still diving into some single issues about in Comixology. I talked about Monster World: The Golden Age last week. After the first issue, I bought the remaining 4 issues. It's a 5-issue series. Read issue 2. The first issue leaves off. We get introduced with a Superman character. It's a Superman in the sense that he's strong and doesn't belong in this world, but it's more biblical rather than alien, which is an interesting take. Also, this is the reveal in this issue where the parents tell him that he's not from this world, that he doesn't know that. He's currently 19 years old and thinks that he's just like everybody else. While this is happening, there's an elementalist shows up that's like, he's pretty much taken over the town, and there's this backstory that he's like, to become an elementalist, you have these like this amulet, and he has all these tools for destruction. Like, he's got this staff, he has these like hellhounds with him. There's these really cool characters in these books. But like, to become an elementalist, you have to sacrifice something. So he's like sacrificed his family, his eyesight. Like, this guy can't see. He's a really badass character. And he pretty much like has been terrorizing the town, trying to take up land. And finally, the son comes back, the Superman character, and there's going to be a battle in issue 3. It's really cool. I mean, they're keeping with the lore, but it's like, you know, it's a little twist on a normal. I mean, it's not how it would normally go down in a DC book with, you know, Superman discovering he's an alien, but it's a cool take. It's interesting so far. I read The Flash, The Fastest Man Alive. Gail Simone, issue 1. This is the 99-cent thing, digital first. Solid first chapter there. It's a tale of Flash on a cruise ship with Iris, which is kind of heartwarming, and it's a fight scene with King Shark. So, I mean, you can't beat that. I mean, King Shark versus the Flash, I'm all in. It was a solid issue. I really enjoyed it, so I think it's definitely worth the price, and the story is solid. And then I read the next one, The Swamp Thing, by Mark Russell, which, I mean, how do you not read that? It's cool, and it's definitely some Mark Russell stuff in there. It's definitely Mark Russell heavy, which is cool, but it fits with Swamp Thing, though. That's the thing about Swamp Thing, is he always has this higher power to answer to, and it's not even you know, like God or a deity. It's nature, and it's like, if nature fails, the earth dies, pretty much. You know what I mean? And poor Swamp Thing, I mean, he just goes around trying to convince people. He's like, you know, like, oh, he has conflict with these workers that are like trying to make this product that is going to control the growth of plants. They're basically Monsanto is like is his focus for this book, I think. Like, he always picks like almost like a political topic, and this is like Monsanto, you know, taking seeds, forcing farmers to use those seeds and hybrid plants and stuff like that, which I kind of paid close attention to a little bit when that had a big stir for a while. But anyways, so it kind of focuses on that. But Swamp Thing's like, you guys are dumb. Like, you're gonna kill yourselves off whether I come and destroy your operation or not. So that's part of the story. Also mixed in with, he gets betrayed by this voodoo woman that has been helping him. And she eats part of the Swamp Thing, like all his hatred that he's been like trying to get rid of. It forms into like a fruit, and she eats it, and pretty much
forms into a beet that is where his heart should be.
Yeah, which is pretty interesting. That was a cool concept, I think. And she eats it after betraying him. She pretty much like knocks Swamp Thing out, and it's very poisonous, so it knocks her out. And by the end of the issue, he thinks, oh, she saved him, and he thinks that she's dead, so they bury her. And she wakes up in the coffin. She pretty much gets buried alive. I thought it was pretty crazy. And
the big twist of like the company wants to basically use Swamp Thing to create slave labor.
Yeah.
And they found a way to knock him out into a state that's almost dead, so they can capture him. And the way they did that was with that beat from Swamp Thing, is all the anger and hatred from his existence that he throws away. It was such a good issue, and I love some of the like, because we've all had these moments in our working lives where like the security guard's like, yeah, I'm not dealing with this shit for $12 an hour.
Yeah, I know. He's like, we don't even get paid good to fight. Like, we got to shoot Swamp Thing. They're like, yeah, I'm out. Which is probably, I think, that's how I would handle the situation as well. yeah, so that was solid. I'm also getting back into my trades that I kind of fell behind on. I was just talking to Chris about this before it started, but this is Martial Law hardcover. It was printed in 2013, but this is a book from the 80s, published by DC, written by Pat Mills, Kevin O'Neill art, and it's and I described it to Chris perfectly, I guess, because he found the same description online. It's like The Boys meets Judge Dredd. So Martial Law is a Judge Dredd style character, but he's not protecting the city from criminals. He's protecting the city from superheroes that are psychotic, that are murdering people, that are domestic abuse issues like that. And he just despises them. And the art is gritty. It's almost like a Frank Miller style art. Like if you open some pages to Frank Miller, RoboCop, right? He did RoboCop. Yeah, so that's kind of like, it's like gritty. It's jaggedy lines. It fits the story though, and it's a heavy read for sure. So I'm about halfway through that. It's just a lot of tales of like Martial Law gets caught in a pinch, and he's like he hates superheroes. It's almost like it's like a dark humor style, like The Boys. You know what I mean? Like his distaste for superheroes is almost comedic in a sense. Like he takes it so seriously, you know. And his outfit is just ridiculous. It's like a gimp suit with like nails and shit like sticking off of it. It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. And then after talking with our lovely guest last week, David Lucarelli, I hit up his Etsy and I picked up this awesome collected edition of the Children's Vampire Hunter Brigade. And it's a complete series, 3 trades, so I'll probably be starting this tonight or this week. But I was flipping through the pages. The art is fantastic. Same artist, Henry Ponciano, that does Tinseltown. But it's almost like a Rathburn style for Walking Dead. It's all black and white. Very good stuff. It fits the story though for sure when I was flipping through it initially. So that's what I had, Chris.
To go off your Martial Law, I finished The Boys with volume 10 and 11.
Nice.
Volume 10 at first I was hesitant with because it was kind of Butcher's origin story, and coming off of some of the solo trades of like Huey crying in Ireland, and this I was like, I don't want another one of these.
Yeah. Please
But as we got in, I thought both of these volumes were the two of my favorite volumes. One, because 10 really shows you why Butcher hates soup so much, especially, shit, I'm zoning on his name.
Oh, the big guy?
Yeah.
I want to say All Might from My Hero Academia, but I can't even think of his name.
Jesus, I just read this too. Anyways, so it makes sense that he hates him so much, and there's also that really fucked up scene where she's like giving birth, and the baby with the umbilical cord comes up and like shoots lasers out of its eyes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it was a perfect lead into volume 11 where kind of shit hits the fan.
Mm-hmm.
And Huey gets his final revenge, which was very satisfying. And then kind of the big reveal at the end that, spoiler, if you don't want this spoiled for you, fast forward like a minute. But the reveal that Black Noir is an exact replica of the superhero's name I can't remember right now.
He's a clone.
And he was designed to be a weapon to stop him at all costs. And not only that, but he's the one that did all these fucked up things. He's the one that raped Butcher's wife, and he's the father of that baby and everything. So, and then like how he dies in the end, how Butcher gets his revenge was pretty satisfying.
Yeah.
All in all, like any series like this, it has its ups and downs. Like I said, that one volume of Huey in Ireland could have skipped that altogether.
Did you read Herogasm?
Yes.
Okay.
So when you read The Boys, if you want to get into it, they actually make it really simple because all the trades are labeled The Boys. And so when you get to Herogasm, it's actually in between 2 volumes of the ongoing series.
Yep.
And it's because all those with the exception of Huey in Ireland, are important towards the story. And come back. So like, yeah, there's that moment of Huey like coming out and saying like, yeah, Black Noir like kind of did something to my butt when we were at Herogasm. And then you're like, oh yeah, that was like 8 volumes ago.
Right.
Yeah, if you haven't read it, read it. It was one of those books where, with the exception of Huey in Ireland, I couldn't wait to get to reading it every time. And every week I went through another trade, and then this week I went through 2 trades.
Nice.
So yeah, it doesn't need to be said, but boy, it's really good. We talked about Swamp Thing, New Roots. I really like that. Aquaman Deep Dives #1. That was another one of the DC dailies.
Oh yeah, I gotta check that too. Yeah.
It was Aquaman versus Black Manta, but what I liked about it is it had Mara at a United Nations meeting, so we got kind of that image of Mara as a leader. And then there was Aquaman trying to hide a ancient relic from everybody in plain sight at a museum, and Black Manta's whole thing was to grab it and try to kill Aquaman with it. And then there's a twist there where the relic is cursed. I thought it was really good. I believe this was a Venditti book, but the art was fantastic. And this is a lot of dead air. There it is. Steve Orlando did this book.
Oh, okay, cool.
That's right. So definitely check that one out. I really liked it. And then I have Wonder Woman Agent of Peace. Skip it.
Yeah, I saw that one and I was like,
I respect Palmiotti and Connors.
Yeah.
I'm just starting to think that it's not even just the Harley thing. I just don't think that they're my style.
Yeah.
I think they just don't meld well with me. But yeah, Harley's in this book because she's got to be in this book. But I couldn't even finish this one, to be honest with you. I was not a fan. And then Superman Man of Tomorrow, that's the Venditti book. It's Superman versus Parasite. And if you want Superman punchy, and then finding a way in the end to win through logic, that's what this book is. And I really liked it because it was simple. It was a quick read, and it's, with what Bendis has been doing with Superman, it was kind of a sigh of relief for something a little bit simpler instead of like all encompassing. And then I read Lucifer's Night #2. And if you remember in Lucifer's Night #1, the ending was that the main character finds out that all his friends are demons or something in that realm. And we end up getting exactly what they are. One's a demon, one's a half-breed, one's a fallen angel, and one is basically a sorcerer with guns. And this issue is all about our main character like coming to grips with his friends being this and his girlfriend being a demon. And then having to fight a demon. And then finding out at near the end of the book that he has a power that he can add to this group. I really liked it. I think it's a cool series. I mean, it does it has that high school. I mean, all the kids are high schoolers, so it has a high school vibe to it. But it's a fun series altogether. And then my last thing, I started a trade. Now that I'm not reading The Boys, I've been getting really into Jim Starlin a lot more recently. I've always loved Jim Starlin's Infinity stuff, but he has a Kickstarter for was it Death Star? Or, no, I forget the name of the Kickstarter up, and I backed it. And I found couple old DC books he did.
Oh, okay.
And the first one I picked up was Cosmic Odyssey, and it's actually the art is by Mike Mignola.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So it's got that style. It was kind of interesting, but it's all about the New Gods and Darkseid have discovered that there's not only does the anti-life equation exist,
Mm-hmm.
It's been a thing of legend to them at this point, but it's a sentient being. And you kind of, where I am in it, you get the whole backstory of how the equation came to be. And they end up going to Earth and trying to get basically what is the Justice League. It's Superman, Batman, Martian Manhunter, and a few others to come and help them fight this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it fits with what I like about Jim Starlin at Marvel when he was doing like Infinity Gauntlet and everything, which was big cosmic baddie group of superheroes. Let's fight.
Yep.
And then it's got Magnolia art. So I'm probably going to finish that this week, but I'm really enjoying it so far.
Cool.
And that's it. So, Mike, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Fortress Ricker on Twitter, but more importantly, where can they find you and their show and that Kickstarter?
Well, first of all, the Jim Starlin book is Dreadstar. I had to get that right.
Dreadstar, okay.
Dreadstar Returns is also on Kickstarter, but do mine first. His is already funded. You can find me at Fortress Chris on Twitter, and you can find the show at fortresscomicnews.com, or you can also find me at chrisrunt.com. That is CHRISRUNDT.com. And yeah, check out the Battle Monsters on Kickstarter. We can get it funded this week. We don't have that much to go, so it should be a nice stressful week for me. But if you're listening to us, make sure to give us 5 stars on the podcatcher. If you're watching us on YouTube, like, subscribe, and share. And we will see you all next week. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
As I wave my pen.